This is my review for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, including both parts of the movie. And it's very interesting because you can definitely tell there is a lot of differences between the first and the second parts of the movie, and there's a lot of differences in the two in the book. I mean, it's not split up in the book, but it changes a lot once you get into the ending. Mostly like the final 150 pages. It changes quite a lot. But I thought this book was really good. I thought this book was a good ending and better than when I don't know, I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm thinking about when I read this. I read this a long time ago. And I'm thinking, wow, that was a good book. But when I was reading it, I didn't really enjoy it that much, especially the first half. I thought the first half was quite slow. They're just camping, and I really didn't like it. And if I had to split both of the parts up and into two, I put my rankings for each chapter, or my what percent each chapter is, and if I took the average of that for only half the book, the first 19 pages of the book, which ends at the silver dough. So when there's a silver dough, you should know when that is, if you're spoiler free, but yeah. And then the last half of the book. And the first half of the book is an 84 or 85, and the last half of the book is a 97 or a 98. So it really changed the ending. I thought the ending was amazing, and I thought the beginning was, pretty good. Not horrible, not amazing, just good. And once you put them both together, you get a good book. One of the better Harry Potter books. Not the best, but one of the better ones. And yeah, there's not a lot I can really say without going into spoilers for like the book. Like, yeah. But besides for, like, saying that, oh, I really liked the ending, I thought it, like, closed out everything well. So, I probably will go to spoilers at the very end, and I'll tell you when that happens. But anyway, so the movies were very weird. I thought the first movie was really good. I really enjoyed the first Deathly Hallows movie. The second Deathly Hallows movie was amazing. So I thought, really good and amazing. I think the movie may be better. No. Okay, it's not better than the book, because the book destroyed the ending. The movie didn't, it wasn't, as good as the book, but it was still pretty good. I thought that the movie did just such a good job with all the ending it, and I love how the battle lasts for over an hour in the movie, and it's just, wow, it's very good. The first Deathly Hallows movie, though, does have some problems where everything's going in a direction, and then the movie ends. It's like, okay, nothing was paid off, but everything was set up, and in the second one, you just have constant payoff, and it's just amazing. And even moments, there's some moments, I thought the Prince's Tale was not as good in the movie, but there's some moments that are better. I think the flaw in the plan, the final chapter, was amazing. I think, not the Battle of Hogwarts did have some problems in the movie, because I felt like they just cut too much stuff out, and even though the battle's long, I feel like they could have included some characters' deaths on screen. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, they don't have a couple deaths on screen in the movie, and it's kind of like, oh, okay. And they don't even include one death at all in the end, which I'm like, okay. But they do add one, so, yeah. Okay. But yeah, I thought it was good. If you want to see how many deaths there are, there's a lot of deaths. And I did include a lot of minor characters when I was doing this, but I put a death at every... I put a marker, a little sticky note at every single death in the book. And in the previous books, there was one per book, mostly, besides for the second and third one didn't have any deaths. And then the sixth one had 2. Well, the seventh one has all these deaths. How many? I had never actually counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, yeah, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There's 19 deaths, which is quite a lot. And you can see there's a lot of deaths at the end right here. And there's just a lot of deaths at the very end, which is interesting. But yeah. And I'm glad that they spread this out in the movie, because if they just had, if they did go, because the Deathly Hallows Part 2 takes place roughly the last third of the book, because Deathly Hallows Part 1 goes all the way up to Malfoy Manor. Part 2, which Malfoy Manor, if you didn't know, Malfoy Manor is this far in to the book. Like, this is the front. It's like that. So you have a lot, or a very little, for Deathly Hallows Part 2, and I feel like that was good. They should have done that. I don't know if I have any buts. I was gonna say like but something not so good. No, I think it was great. The movie was great. My favorite chapter in the whole series is in this book, The Prince's Tale. Probably shouldn't have said that if you're gonna watch my chapter ranking, or not all. I'm not ranking all chapters, but I did rank all chapters, but all ranking top 10 best and top 10 worst chapters. The Prince's Tale is amazing. It's so good, especially in the book. I've reread it like 5 times because it's just so good. And every single time I read it, like almost every piece of dialogue in that chapter is just amazing. And the main character, or what the chapter is about, is I don't want to say his name because it does spoil the 6th book, but I mean, it's fine if I do. I just don't want to. The person the story about is my favorite character, and yeah, it's just great. But now, so what I rated them, I rated the book a 91, I think, and then the first movie, Deathly Hallows Part 1 in 96, Deathly Hallows Part 2 in 98. And yeah, but I still think the book is better, even though I rated the movie higher. But now I'm going to get into spoilers. So, if you haven't read the book or watched the movies, both movies, leave, because I'm going to spoil them all. So, we start, and it's pretty good for the book. Like, okay, it's interesting. We have that chase where Mad-Eye Moody dies, and Hedwig also dies, and it's like, oh no. I mean, their deaths are really short, and Mad-Eye Moody's not even on screen, so I just thought that was interesting. And then it's like, okay, it's kind of slow after that. After, at the wedding, and then you get into the camping chapters, which is, well, you go to, what was it called, Grimmauld Place? They go to Grimmauld Place, and then they go to the Ministry of Magic, and then they go camping, and the camping is so slow. I thought the movie did it really well, but in the book, it's just so slow, and there's so many chapters where, like, barely anything happens, and it's just like, okay. Like, after the 6th book and the 5th book, I rated a lot of the chapters 90s and in the hundreds on 1 to 100, but even though some of them are above 100, I rated them really high, and this one, I didn't really feel right putting some of the chapters that low. Like, I put chapters in the 70s. I don't think I put them in the 60s, but I did put them in the 70s, and it's like, oh, okay. They're not really that good. But then, once you get to the Silver Doe chapter, it switches. They go to Xenophilius Lovegood's house, and that was really interesting because he's cool. And seeing, like, all the stuff with Luna, and it's like, Luna's missing. It's like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. It's just, yeah, it's very interesting. And it makes Xenophilius' character really great. And then, Malfoy Manor happens, which is amazing. I mean, it's not a great chapter. I mean, it is a great chapter. I rated it 100, but it's a great chapter. But it's not, like, top 5 best, but it's still amazing. I don't think it should have been the finale of the first movie, but it is amazing. Dobby, no one really cares about him. he died. Yeah, it was an interesting death. Wormtail's death in the book is so much better than in the movie. Like, in the movie, Dobby just, like, snaps his fingers and he falls to the floor. Oh, he's dead. In the book, it's like he strangles himself with the silver hand Voldemort gave him. And it's so interesting. And then, there's more just, like, a lot of boring chapters where nothing really happens. And then they go to Gringotts, which is pretty interesting. I liked the part in the movie because Bellatrix playing Hermione it's pretty funny. But in the book, I wasn't that big a fan. And then you get into the ending. They go meet Aberforth, Neville returns, and I think the sacking of Severus Snape, chapter 30, is the part where the Battle of Hogwarts starts, and the battle goes on for the rest of the book, which is around 140 pages, maybe? 150 pages. It's just around that time, and it's, like, it's really good. And I'm so glad that was like the first 30 minutes of, not 30, but like 40 minutes of the Deathly Hallows Part 2 movie. Crabbe dying, which it's really, oh man, it's pretty intense. And then Fred. Fred's death was so sad, and I can't believe it was off screen in the movie, because I just can't believe it, that it was off screen. It should have been on screen. And then the Elder Wand, Severus Snape's death. Oh, it's so good. And it's amazing. And then you get into my favorite chapter, The Prince's Tale, Snape's backstory. And it's so good. As I said, I've read it like 5 times, and it's just, it's so good. I don't know how, like, every piece of dialogue is amazing, and every action, it's basically all just dialogue, especially once you get when Snape's with Dumbledore, and it's really good. It's, like, really cool, especially the ending, always. It's great. Forced again, Harry's with the Resurrection Stone, and then he's like, oh, I have to die, yeah. It's really good as well. Colin Creevey's death isn't in the movies, but it is in the books. If you'd only seen the movies, that's the guy with the camera pictures. The one guy in the Chamber of Secrets. He dies in the book, but not in the movie, which I feel like you should have included it in the movie. It would be kind of cool to see him, and I don't know. It would be cool to see him return. And then I think the movie did the flaw in the plan better, because you have Neville kills Nagini, and then Bellatrix's death, and then Voldemort dies like a human. He just falls to the floor, Vada Kedavra spell. In the movie, you get Bellatrix. I believe she already died by the time Voldemort died. I think she already died, so we don't have to, like, worry about that. Then Nagini, and that he, super cool Neville moment, and then Voldemort gets snapped. Probably Dobby got the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's so good. Although I think the ending is really, it's just, it ends super fast. It's like, you're like, oh, Voldemort died, and then Harry's like, wow, I can't believe he died. Credits. I mean, not in the movie, but in the book, it's like that. But then you have the epilogue, which a lot of people really hate the epilogue. I really liked it. Now, that doesn't mean I like The Cursed Child, because I will have a review on The Cursed Child. that I've already made, which is basically 40 minutes of me hating on the book, because I thought that book was horrible. But I did think the epilogue was pretty good in the Deathly Hallows. I mean, I hate Albus Severus, that guy, and there's just, like, a couple other things that are interesting, but it wasn't Cursed Child levels of bad. 'Cause the Cursed Child, if you hate on the Cursed Child and you hate on the epilogue, then it's like, do you even know why you hate the Cursed Child? Because the Cursed Child has so many problems with the story, but the first 10 pages of the Cursed Child is fine. Like, yeah, there's some plot holes that I go over in my review, but it's fine, so I don't understand why you don't like. I mean, the epilogue's not bad, but it's just okay. Like, I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's just okay. It's pretty good. And yeah, it ends. Which I think it's fine. I think it ends a bit too abrupt, but whatever. It's okay. And yeah, great book. Yeah, and the series was great. I'm gonna have a ranking of the books now and the movies, but we're in everything. I'm just gonna rank everything, but I still have to review Fantastic Beasts. Yeah, which I've read the 2 screenplays, but I haven't watched any of the movies, and the 3rd movie. And I probably are gonna wait till July, until I can get the screenplay for The Secrets of Dumbledore before I do a ranking. And then when the final 2 Fantastic Beasts movies come out, then I'll do a ranking of everything, which that's going to be in the far future. But, yeah. But I'll make a ranking after the Secrets of Dumbledore screenplay comes out, and I read it. But, yeah. So that's my review of the Deathly Hallows. I think it's amazing. You should read it. The whole series, even though if you're here, you've already saw all the spoilers for this book. If you're still watching. But, yeah, it's amazing. Bye.